If you had not brought Givebutter to us, I don't believe we would have raised as much as we did last year. So I highly recommend working with other like-minded people like we are today and jumping on that platform. When you're in the nonprofit world, I'm just giving you a heads up, but it's constantly fundraising. It's constantly asking people for money and really breaking that barrier. Someone taught me the word ABC, even though it doesn't really line up. It's always be selling, but do it in a really kind and understanding way with that sales pitch that you have. Any opportunity to have someone donate.
Welcome to the Imagine podcast. This is one of our resilience roundtables. ImaginePod connects impact leaders and stewards with the strategic practices and platforms that really power their growth. We offer these interactive interviews as inspiration and as solid case studies and examples of what you can do as well. I'm Adriana Dakin, co-leader of ImaginePod and co-host of the podcast, along with my colleague Abigail Aude. She and I founded ImaginePod in 2020, the exact month that the COVID pandemic shelter in place started. Those are vivid memories. Now I'm here talking with Danilla Sands, and we have a Q&A audience gathered of fantastic nonprofit leaders from the US and Nigeria. They've been in our spring, summer, and fall cohorts. I've known Danilla since our kids were in preschool together with a teacher who was my nanny long ago. Now my daughter is 17 and my son is 13. Danilla runs a disaster relief organization and a warehouse that happens to be based just 500 feet over that way. They moved here last year, and my home is on a farm growing pears and grapes with my husband. In my years living here in Mendocino County, 2 hours north of San Francisco, Danilla's ability to really be there for people experiencing disasters, surviving them, and figuring out how to recover stands out. If a disaster is starting to happen, a fire, for example, I go to Mendo Action News. Danilla is usually the first one of everyone out there to post what is going on. It's so heartening to know that somebody is out there for all of us, but she does so much more than that. So Danilla, what and when was your first experience with a disaster and pitching in your life? Thinking even further back beyond forming this nonprofit.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Adriana, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Well, there's been a couple little incidents. One, I do disaster relief, and we lost part of our home in 91, and I remember that experience a little bit. And then in 2014, a friend had lost their apartment on Christmas morning. And I remember her talking, they just lost all these presents under the tree, like Thomas the Train. At that time, there wasn't Facebook and social media like there is today. It was more like email systems that they had. And I remember a call to action to replace some of the Christmas presents for her 4-year-old son. And I would go and gather these gift cards that people were donating, and a local toy store wanted to replace all the train sets. I was really moved by the community. But more impactful was about 10 years ago when I really started the big disaster relief work. That was the Valley Fire, where 1,900 structures in Lake County, the county that borders our county, 1,900 structures were destroyed and lives were lost. And that was one of the biggest wildfires in our area for some time that our community experienced. There were trucks caravanning supplies at the local stores, churches in the nearby county, and local club charters that were gathering supplies. I just happened to be at a local pizza place eating my pizza, and I saw this call to action. We need trucks to take over supplies. I thought, I have a truck, I could do that. That's simple enough. So I pull up to the back, and there's 10 vehicles just in and out gathering supplies, a variety of things. And then I was on my way over, and I looked over at my husband and I said, hey, there's 2 places collecting donations. Which one should I go to? My husband is religious, so he said, let's go to the church versus the local club area. I said, okay, let's go. It was this big new church. When we pulled up, they unloaded us quickly. I happened to walk in and I thought, wow, there is a lot of donations here and there's very little help. I felt like they needed a little bit more support than me just dropping off bags of donations. I walked into the kitchen, and at this time I had done a lot of catering, and they were cutting carrots, and I'm like, this seems simple. When they saw what I could do that day, they're like, you're on. I was starting to do 16-hour shifts, 500 meals 3 times a day for firefighters, volunteers, and victims. I started to learn things there helping out. I'd get up real early at 5 in the morning, head over, and I started to see the coordination happening. I started to see what social media could do because you could put a call out, hey, we need bread. And then there would be a truck show up with 5 pallets of bread. Wow. You could just request what you need, and then it comes during this time of need. Then 1 year later, we experienced in our own county a devastating fire that impacted 25% of the population in our town. 25%. Our little town's 2,000, and it was over 600 structures, and we lost 9 people. So I thought, we did it over there a year ago. This is how we did it, and started to roll with it. 45 disasters later, all different kinds, several partners. We developed this into now a one-in-a-kind disaster resource center where we do case management and so much more today.
Thank you for that great story of your evolution starting in 1991. And going even further back, where did you grow up and what's your background?
I grew up in Southern California, and I have been here in Northern California for a majority of my life. I've been here for several decades. It's a small town, small community, and so many of us know each other.
Now, United Disaster Relief of Northern California, it's gone through evolutions, I'm sure. How did it come to be, and how did what you offer come to be with the full scope of what you do?
So when we first started, it was more of a donation center where we had 50 plastic tables with mounds and mounds of clothes. Learning from the previous fire, you needed to stop donations of clothes in the first 2 weeks. We learned and we adapted. That was the big thing. We would lean on each other for ideas and lean on the community for their support. Then we started getting into advocacy, removing the bureaucratic red tape. How can we help them a little more? How can we relay information to them in a timely manner? If there was a grant that was due, how can we help them through that process or remind them? So we were doing a little bit more than just handing out clothes. Some of our partners were like, hey, let's close the doors in a couple months, 7 months. People don't just need toilet paper. And I'm like, hey, it's more than that. These people are coming because it's a community of support. And we learned that even FEMA talks about this, that short-term recovery after a disaster is 1 to 3 years. Long-term is 3 to 5. If you're talking about a significant disaster, right? Like a wide-scale earthquake, a wide-scale wildfire where infrastructure is destroyed, it's 5 to 10 years. So why would you close a disaster center after a few months when people are still living in a trailer and can't even put the material donations in there? They're coming out of trauma and shock. It takes months. Think of it like grieving a loved one. If you've ever lost a loved one, you don't really come to until months, even years later, and then we're gone. That's not how I saw it. We wanted to do long-term recovery and immediate and work with partners. We've moved 5 times, but now we are in our permanent location, 13,000 square foot building on 2 acres with 2 loading docks. And we are very well respected in our community with our county and our city, our elected officials, and our disaster relief partners. So the big part was sticking with it, because there were several times, like when we would get a 30-day notice that we wanted to give up, or when we saw the money in our account and we're like, how could we possibly go further? And every building we got into, the rent was higher and higher. And now we have this big loan payment. But the longer we stuck with it, we just established this commitment to our community, and they gave that back to us.
That's great to hear. You have a journalism background. I'm intrigued about that. I love it when people bring a past professional background to social and environmental impact work. I imagine you've had some big hurdles and problems to go through. This is one of the big challenges of our time, dealing with disasters in a time and place with climate change and a lot of social inequity in how disasters impact different communities. What are some of the biggest problems and hurdles that you've seen, and how did they lead to your growth?
Yeah, one of our biggest hurdles was moving from location to location. If you're renting a place, the owner could sell at any time. And that happened to us several times. So that was one hurdle. How do we get a building when our money was low? So finding people that believed in what we did was essential. Establishing a board of people, a wide scale of people with backgrounds from all different places, different cultures, different lived experiences was essential. And leaning on each other for ideas. Anytime I felt low or unmotivated, I am the kind of person to hop on YouTube and find a good motivational speaker or video or play it in the background when I'm driving to work. Someone that's been there and done that and kept going, and listening to other leaders in the world that have struggled and got through it and are pretty amazing people today. So I'm not the only one that's going to go through mountains, even on the good days and bad days, leaning on other people with their experiences.
Love it. Diving into the topic at hand, which is last year's year-end campaign and how you did it, and then specifically talking about the match donor, what motivated you to do last year's year-end campaign? What gave you the reason to do it?
The bills got higher, and people with more lived experience said you have to start fundraising. We used to just do activities for our clients to get them together more. And then we realized that if we want to grow and become more, we're going to have to really step up on the fundraising efforts. We do 2 to 3 fundraising campaigns a year. We do a spring, which is in person, so they could see what we're doing. This year we held it at our event so we can give them a tour of the place. We have 2 acres in the back now. We had that ability. We saved on venue costs elsewhere, and it really got them more in their fillers to see in person. The other fundraiser, which we got partnered with Givebutter, was the fall fundraiser. Somehow the online one seems to generate more money than the one in person, where we're doing 200% more work, right? And more people. Sometimes people just like to contribute a little bit versus showing up. It's also the fall time. So for us in this area, it's the end of year donations they need to make before taxes are due. So that's another compelling reason. It gets near the holidays. And then I spoke with you, Adriana, about what you were doing and starting up, and it sounded really amazing. You offered it at this great free discount with support in a community. You can't deny that. So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. I love how you said that the weekly discussions helped, because then you could talk with others doing the same and get inspiration, like wind under your wings.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have to take everything someone says, but being in a community with other people, they may have a really great idea that I never heard of, or a different way how to do it, or how to navigate the Givebutter platform, how to edit things, or learning about their organization was also inspiring.
We'll see your campaign in a moment. One thing I would love for you to share in advance is how your background in journalism affects how you created that campaign.
Yeah, I've done a lot of study and research on this, and I'm sure many of you know that our attention span is very minimal today. They talk a lot about doom scrolling. TikTok is 1 minute or less, Reels are 30 seconds. Articles in my background, journalism, used to be 450 characters or more, and people wanted to read. They'd want to pick up a book. There wasn't social media like there is today. There wasn't Netflix and YouTube. So you'd be reading the newspaper that was sent to you, and you'd read the magazines and such. But today it's 150 characters or less, or you lost them. And the heading is key. And that's why you see media play around with the title of articles. And you're like, wow, you're trying to get everyone's attention one way or another, bad or good. But the bottom line is, if we don't catch them in that title, we don't get them at all, because they're just going to keep scrolling. The photo is really important too. If it gets to their heart or brings shock, then they may be compelled to read a little more. So when I did the Givebutter, I kept it real short, but enough information with links and videos, because we do have some supporters that want to know more. They are old fashioned, or they do like to read, or they want to research. So, here's a link if you'd like to read more about who we are, or here's a link to our website. There's a video in the beginning. It's 3 minutes or 1 minute long. because everybody takes in information differently. Some people are visual, some people are hands-on, some people want to read, some people want to watch. So putting a little bit of that in there in a small amount that leads them somewhere else is really key.
You are a great strategic thinker, bringing in that journalism background. I love it. And others here bring their backgrounds in different areas. And it's amazing to see that. One woman I worked with brought her realtor background, another brought a CPA background, and they all have transferable skills that you can bring in here. So you're coming with strengths. Speaking of coming with strengths, one thing that you've said you've learned is to focus on what's positive, and your headline of your campaign speaks to that. Now might be a great moment to start screen sharing your campaign, how you created it and how you came up with the match donor idea, the background story behind that.
Yeah. So when I started this, I had another nonprofit leader that was talking to me about match donations, and I was really clueless what that really entailed. And she said, hey, this is a really good marketing strategy. Anytime you can have anybody match and be willing to bring that, even if they're saying, we're going to give this to you regardless if you match, you don't have to tell that to your donors because they're going to be glad that you get it in the end anyways.
Nice.
It could be an anonymous person, I've noticed, or it could be someone that wants a lot of advertising, a local business or another nonprofit partner, a private donor, whatever way. It's key. It could be 5,000, or in this case, it was up to 100,000. I also work for another local nonprofit. I think they had $1 million match donation. Maybe they only brought in 300,000, but when you saw that, you're like, wow, they could get up to $2 million. It was exciting for the supporters. They feel like every dollar is now two. So
Yeah,
it's
leverage.
It's a good marketing strategy. So even with our total here where it says 110,000, they only had to contribute half of that, but they're seeing the number much bigger. It's also important to not go too big because then people may get discouraged that they could never meet that.
I like how you mention not going too big. Keep it time defined and tangible, what you need now in this time frame, and making it both aspirational and realistic, that overlap to inspire people. A juicy goal, but something that people can get excited about, and a way that they can get more excited, like a match donor where your money is either doubled or tripled.
Absolutely. You want to start and an end date. Yeah. Because people don't want to think this is ongoing and they don't get to see the results. And that is what many of the volunteers here shared with me, their thoughts on it as a donor for many years to different nonprofits. So you want something tangible. Don't go too low. Don't go too high. Fill out your crowd and then have an end date. So ours started early July. Now we're starting at more September, October, and then it ends the end of December. It's real clear cut in that sense. In the beginning, we put a video because we happen to have a local guy that's pretty amazing at putting together videos. Sometimes they're a minute, sometimes 3 minutes. It showcases the client and how they felt about the services they received here. It talks about the volunteers. It shows the buildings and why we're raising the money. I love how Givebutter has this tracker here. I love that. I love immediately they can go in. I don't have to design that on my own website and they can see how much they've raised. This is the photo that I love, a client holding a suitcase. That was the feedback that I received from some of our supporters because we always ask for suitcases for clients that just lost their home. They want some normalcy. They don't want a plastic bag or a tub having that suitcase. That really warmed their heart that they saw their donations go to the client and then seeing them smile and holding it as theirs. And then it talks about matching the donation. You have a little bubble button up here, which is really neat. So that everything they donate, bam, right there. And then the story, at this time we were partnering with someone else. So we put that here. We kept it one sentence. Stand for Kindness is taking action by partnering again with United Disaster Relief of Northern California to help secure UDRNC's new forever home. It's right there. It's simple. If they don't read any further, they understand right there what we're doing. If you need to use AI, Chat GPT, everybody's doing it. It's okay. You can write out your whole story in Chat GPT, the whole thing, and then give descriptors. You can say, hey, could you please make this compelling? Could you soften the tone? Can you make it 150 characters or less? Can you offer an opportunity to add a link? Whatever you need to do, it can help you out with that. And then a photo. At this time, we're raising money to secure the building, so that was important. Someone else had mentioned in the group meetings that we did with ImaginePod, have some bullet points right there. So this fundraiser aims to blank, real simple, defined. People like those number one or checkpoints or bullet points. It's easy to see when you scroll down. Another quick sentence, watch our video of volunteers giving a sneak peek at our new location. Here's another link opportunity. Update the new facility. Here's another link. It was really easy for us to put those in. And then how long we're running it is really important to tell them. I used another platform, Canva, to create this photo here so that I could put multiple photos in that one photo spot. And I was just using other methods to help you out here. And it just showcased volunteers helping out clients, some of our donations, forklifting in larger donations. And I looked for colors that got people's attention and made them feel good. I heard that yellow makes people happy, like sunshine and flowers. There's some marketing strategy there. It just so happens to be Givebutter's color down here. So there you go. And then again, another quick little thing talking about who we are, some more bullet points, and then you have opportunity for more links. The new facility will continue to offer vital resources such as grant assistant, FEMA, and Red Cross support, free material goods, and a dedicated space for clients to access laundry services, internet, and office supplies. Hey, watch the video here about what I'm talking about. So if you're that person that likes to see things versus read, you've got, and if they don't want to click it, that's okay too. They can keep scrolling down. And then for more information, here's a link to our website and thank you. It's real simple, to the point. I love how Givebutter says that we're verified right here. It says our name. It says that we're a 501c3. Here's our EIN number, that we're verified. Our logo's here, our social links. It just seems real clean, real secure. And then on the right-hand side, what I enjoyed is I could give a campaign update. I could say, hey, thank you, everybody. We're now at this, keep it going. I can thank someone that's made a donation if they wanted to be public about it. I could put a heart here and say, hey, thank you, and leave a comment. Wow, that's a generous donation. We really appreciate you. And then it collects their information into the database, their name, their phone number, emails, if you ever wanted to do something again later. Internally, I enjoyed that I could keep track of how I received the check or the credit card donation, cash donation in person versus online. And I could manually update the monitor here and update our total. So I liked how you had different opportunities to add to it and work around it.
Beautiful. It's flexible.
Yes.
I think everyone can see why we have Danilla here today. This is so great to see it and get the background on it. For more background, what can others learn from how you approached the person or the organization that gave the match donation?
Yeah, sometimes they come to us and they say, hey, we heard that you did this last year. We want to be the person this year. So that's exciting, right? Less work for me. But other times I just come to them in a compelling way. Any donation is great. If you want us to talk about you, we can put it on our social media. Every time I sent out an email, like through our MailChimp or on here, we can thank you again. If you want to be anonymous, that's fine too. We're real transparent about our process along the way. Some people love it. If they're a business, they can add it to their social medias as well. It's a tax write-off if they're a business. So there's incentives for them and there's incentives for us.
Great. Is there any particular thing that you found has really helped get that yes?
For the match donation, giving them a tour if they haven't already, really
Okay.
showcasing what you do. Having your 5-minute elevator speech is really important. That was something else that I had to learn years back. What is this whole elevator speech? Don't talk too long, but not too short. Again, you could use AI to help you with some of those bullet points, but tell them who you are, why you do it, why it's important to you, but more importantly, why it's important to the community and your clients. Keep it short and sweet, and why it's important to that donor. They're leaving a legacy, may be important to them. I've also learned that some people, that's not important to them to have their name on things. Okay, you can be an anonymous donor. We'd appreciate you just the same. And then this is something that's long standing in our community that's going to be helping out other nonprofits because we're partnering with them. That shows that your donation is expanding, telling them how many people you serve. We're also volunteer run. So they know that their donation is going straight to the client. That's another key point. Just understanding what speaks volumes to your partners. Maybe they've told you already, hey, I really like how you said that, or I like how you did that for a client. I like how this organization works this way, and run with that.
Beautiful. Now, before we go to questions, which we will in a moment, would you be able to toggle over to your internal dashboard for Givebutter to show people where the match setting is? Edit Building Hope. Now see the tools in the subnav? Yep. Then scroll on down and we'll see the match donation set up. Great. So here's matching, enable matching. It says add donation matching and drive more support to your campaign. Stats that Givebutter has shared say that having a matching donor increases donation 3 to 5 times. So it's significant. And then you have enable matching. It's a toggle that you can turn on and off. By default, it's off. When you have a match donor, you turn it on and it becomes that blue bar. When enabled, you can add a match to your campaign, allowing donations to be matched automatically until a match is exhausted. Then you put in your match amount, 100,000 was hers, and you do the match ratio, like 2x, 3x, 4x. You have some checkboxes, show match amount, match offline donations, mailing a check can come in. You can log those manual transactions and they can count and include in the goal bar progress. There you have your start date, your end date, and here's where you can allow the match donor to be anonymous or have their name. You wrote community supporter.
Yeah.
An anonymous donor.
And there's also different ways to set up your page. There's a story. And for the holiday event, we do a quick and easy one here. We'll be starting up that one. We love the fact that we can use Givebutter. Some people want to buy gifts for our clients. Some just want to contribute the money and have us go purchase the items. This one was a much smaller goal that we had. So they don't have to go for the big guy. They could go for the little guy and contribute as well.
Great. And now we are going to open up to Q&A. Monica, I'd love to start with you because you just ran an online auction and had an amazing in-person event. You're in Portland. I'd love to have you introduce yourself and say what your organization does and ask any question you would like.
Thank you, Adriana. Hello, everybody. My name is Monica Santoyo. I am founder and president of Women for Change Coalition. We are in Portland, Oregon. We're a group of diverse women committed to building healthier and more inclusive communities. And we do this by ending isolation through educational coaching programs, advocacy, and collaboration. Adriana is right. We just had a fabulous community event, the first one for us. And the process started online with Givebutter. I was part of the ImaginePod group where I was really learning how to use Givebutter. And it's fabulous. I love it. Now we see it, how it works in practice. So thank you. It's amazing. We have about $7,500 raised. Thank you. We have cash donations, in-kind donations, an auction, and then an event. So it really was a combination of everything, and we used the platform for all of it. I'm so happy that we're using it.
That's amazing. And I see in the comments that you said in-kind donations can also be added and count as part of the goal. How did you do that?
It was in the same section that Danilla was in with entering transaction or entering donations, and there is in-kind in there. At the end, after everything comes in, which we have a few more donations to process, we're also entering all the in-kind, which will be part of our goal. We're about 50% there, and we estimate that we'll probably be around $8,500. After everything is done and processed, we'll kick off a Christmas campaign, rolling right into the next one.
By the way, I think this can be co-inspiration. You're preparing for the holidays. It's a time when people need presents anyway. And then if they're supporting a cause at the same time, all the more reason.
Yes, and that was my question for Danilla. What are your plans for your Christmas campaign? What is it like?
We have a lot of supporters because it's our 8th year doing this. And what compels them is they want to buy gifts off the wish list for the clients that we accrued that year. Our clients have nothing. They don't even have a Christmas tree. They don't have any photos. We host an event where they come, they get free food, they get to have a photo with Santa, the children, and all the survivors that year come together. So it's a community thing, and the volunteers come as well. We have someone sponsor 3 items per client on their wish list. It could be anything. We've had wash machine and dryers. We've had new barbecue sets to a nice warm blanket or jacket. So we match them up according to the donor and their limits that they have. If they only have 100, maybe one client. If they're willing to donate 1,000, there is some strategy there as well. Our goal is usually around 10 to 20,000. We don't have to do too much around it because the supporters really want to do this during the holidays. That right there is already enough, is Christmas and gifts and holidays and doing this for so many years. But in the future, we've talked about auctions and other fun ideas as well.
Great. I've been running an auction, and it's an amazingly easy tool to get your things out into the world to the people who want it while supporting a cause.
Hi, I'm Sierra Van Zandt. I'm the Executive Director for Living Classroom, and Classroom believes in the importance of connecting with, valuing, and protecting the natural world. Every day, we inspire children to learn about the natural world through garden-based education, because by providing relevant, hands-on, and engaging learning opportunities, we are cultivating the next generation of environmental champions. I'm working on my landing page, and this has been really helpful to see your progress. I'm curious, as someone who hasn't done a matching donor before, you gave a few tips on like how to get that started, but we don't have the history of having done this in the past year. So there's not organizations or individuals who are like, hey, I want to be the matching donor this year. What's some advice you might have for reaching out to someone, or would I reach out to multiple businesses, multiple longtime donors? Curious, where do I start?
Yeah, great, Sierra. I'm a homeschool mother since COVID. So I have a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old that are homeschooled. I love what you're doing already. I'm excited to go research it more. Thank you for coming and bringing that to the table. For me, I found partners that are like-minded. So if you do something classroom setting or garden related, that would be where I would go. So I'm not sure if you're doing gardening, like digging into soil and plants, that maybe one of those partners in your community wants that advertising because it's related, right? Someone that has a compost company or plant or gardening business, landscaper, go into that thing because it's like-minded and they may get a little business from it at the same time. That's where I go in my thoughts. Also, maybe a teacher. Maybe there is teachers out there in your community that you already know that are retired, and teaching kids is really important to them. Education's really important to them, and they would like to be that match donor.
I love it. I love thinking about the interests of the people that you're asking, the fact that you do that and see how it can align well and work for both to bring business or reputation building or whatever it is, the joy that they want to have more of.
That gave us for places to ask, do you ever have multiple donors to create a larger match amount?
I have in the past, and that's fine too. For me, that's more of a sponsor because we're putting levels. So if that's where you want to go instead to cover some of the expenses with the project that you're about to do, that's where you would create the gold sponsor does 1,000 and their business gets advertising. Silver is 500 and these guys are at 100. That's where I get more multiple supporters to cover the expenses of some program or project that I want to launch off. You can absolutely do it that way as well.
I am Lorree Lewis-Crandell. I'm from Lake County, California. My organization is Creating a Pathway to Everyday Living. And I feel like we're doing something very similar to Sierra. We just added in a little extra kick, which is why I must get my Givebutter up and going. If I have to stay up all night tonight, I'm working with Koa and he's very creative, sometimes more creative than I can keep up with, but I love it. We decided to add a camp in for 2 weeks to help kids because we too have a garden. We had someone donate us several acres of land. We are really excited. We have dirt coming. People are starting planter plants for us, and we're doing corn that we're trying to start and grow, but we also started carving this corn from other crops that have already harvested. And it's very hard to explain, but I want to take the pictures and put them onto Givebutter. And I want to be able to demonstrate what we're doing in more of a live section. So I think I really like how you put in the links for the videos, because I feel like I have a tendency to put just too much information. And so I would like to know, how do you insert those links?
It allows you to highlight it and add the link. It was simple for me. I would definitely encourage that so that you could bring them somewhere else or ask them to come and tour that garden. Because if I was a donor, I'd really like to see what you're doing. Or if you have people that love to videotape and put together a 1-minute reel, download it onto your YouTube and the shorts video. Oh, Adriana's bringing it up now. You can put that 1-minute reel or a 1-minute video on your YouTube at bare minimum and link it there as well. And some platforms only allow YouTube links versus other links. So yeah, I highly encourage that. I just know me, I'd love to see it. And did you say Lake County, California?
Yes, it is.
Oh, you're right next door. Okay,
yes,
great.
Absolutely. I'm really amazed with what's going on. Every time I see another part of it, I'm just like, whoa, this is, I'm in awe. And I'm like, okay, but you're doing this. So I really want to get that energy across in my story.
She's showing you right now, it's a hyperlink. So you're just highlighting it and clicking the link and then adding in the address on the website.
Perfect.
You don't want people to leave your donation page altogether. It's really important, if you're giving a link, to pull up a new window so that right next to it is your tab that reminds them to go there.
Okay.
And yeah, so you can just do that.
Yeah, if you have before and after picture, I would say that's pretty neat to show, look how much we've already done, and we could do so much more with your support. And I know that it's challenging to get it going. I can just say start. Just start. If you start it with a couple paragraphs and photos and you're getting it going, you can always edit and play around with it more later. People that want to support you want the information now, and some of those people want to donate today.
Perfect. Thank you. I will do that because I do feel like that's going to make the story. It's pretty amazing to see it go from where it was a week and a half ago. The ground was all bumpy. So they flattened the land. Now I know, oh, this is really going to happen. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Hi, thank you, Danilla. My name is Bailey Faustina. I'm the Communications and Development Manager at Health Project Center. We are a nonprofit that supported Californians living and aging safely at home since 1980. We serve Monterey, Santa Cruz, San Benito, and San Luis Obispo counties, where we empower individuals and families to navigate the challenges of aging with dignity and confidence. My question for you is, when asking for a match, what method have you seen be most successful? A phone call versus email versus direct mail appeal? And then also, would that be part of a sponsorship appeal or separate?
Just so I have this right, you're asking about the match donor, the best way to go about it, phone call, email, and then you've also talked about sponsorship.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. So if it's someone that I have a relationship with already, during our spring fundraiser, we do sponsorship levels for tables and tickets where they get a little bonus for coming. If you donate 500, maybe you get 4 tickets. If you donate 1,000, you get a table and you get 8 tickets plus a bottle of wine, whatever it be. Those people, for the most part, we've already established a relationship with them. So it's real quick for them. It's real quick for us. I give them the short spill. They don't have a lot of time. And I do the attached sponsorship level little flyer, quick, easy to read. They want to see what they get out of it. They want to see the levels real easily and how they make a donation. These people have little time like myself. I'm the CEO, right, of over 100 volunteers running this organization. If I'm already committed, nice and sweet like it is to your friend in a text message, but a little bit more professional. Those guys will automatically start sending checks. And sometimes I have to do a little follow-up like, hey, we're 30 days out. Yes or no, do you want to be on the flyer is the big incentive, because we tell the newspapers, we tell the radios, we put it on the flyer that goes around town or the postcard that goes out in the mailer. We include it in our email once a week at that time because we're pushing a lot for ticket sales. Do you want your logo on this or not? And maybe even 6 weeks back to have that deadline is an incentive for them. For anybody that's new, I feel like in person, establishing that relationship and really nailing down that elevator speech and giving them a tour and really compelling to them personally. Phone calls can work too sometimes. Sometimes they can start to avoid you. So you want to be careful about that. For me, if I get a no, if I get ghosted, if I don't get enough response, I move on. Fundraising is really hard already. And if someone doesn't want to come to me and meet me and is not invested in it, I need to spend that energy wisely on someone that really does want to support. So, okay, we're good. If I don't hear from you tomorrow, sometimes I just put it out there. If they are someone that I know, hey, it's okay. If you don't want to donate, that's fine. Just tell me yes, no, and I'll stop bugging you. And they'd be like, yeah, not this year. Okay. Now I don't have to keep putting that effort and energy and bugging them. If it's someone new, it's something that you do, I would go in person or bring them to you. Yeah.
My name is Vanessa Segura. I work with Bailey at the Health Project Center, so same mission, working to support individuals, keeping them in their homes and preventing them from entering a nursing home. So working a lot with care management and family caregivers. My question would be, how do you maintain relationships with the donors, and what methods have you found successful for just getting that relationship with them and having them reoccur and donate again?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for what you're doing. What really stood out to me is you said preventing them going into nursing homes. I just love that. I love that sentence, because we could talk all day about ours, but when you have one powerful sentence, it really resonates with someone. So talking to dependent older people would be really key, I believe. Someone living on the farm, or they're a really good survival person, they're independent, they're confident, or they're running their home, or they're on a board already and they're still smart in their mind after they're retired. That speaks volumes to them to say, hey, we want to help people, prevent them to go into these nursing homes, and why. I really love that you said that. And I lost your question. Oh, establishing relationships. You got me right there with that sentence. For me, I like MailChimp. It's really easy. I like to add photos. You can put it in 3 parts. I like that. So the first part can be an update, what's going on. I like to show them who we have in our place. So it might be volunteer spotlight or board member spotlight, and then some needs that we have. If it's a fundraiser, they're going to get it more frequently. It might be once a week, twice a week when we get closer to the end. Otherwise, once a month minimum, your email newsletters should go out. A lot of other people believe bi-weekly or once a week. And just keep it short and sweet. It's fine. It could even be a quick little letter format. MailChimp allows you to do that. Phone calls work to some extent. What I've realized, I took this huge workshop and it said, hey, start calling all your donors and offer them a tour. And I felt like they were more bugged by it personally. My supporters may be different than your supporters. They're like, hey, we're already donating. We don't need to have this marketing call. So for them, that was a little different. You may still be with the group of people, like you said, aging, right? So they may be old fashioned and like tangible items. They might like the physical newsletter still. They may like the thank you cards. One of our volunteers here started 4 years back. Every time we had a donation of any amount, whether it be 25 or 5,000, they send them back a copy of the tax ID receipt with a thank you card. And she may include a quick little thing that it helped that week. Hey, this week we gave someone a beautiful new jacket. Thanks to you and your contribution. Or we had a successful event. But thank you cards are really key, especially to the older generation. That's the way we were raised. I've had donors come back to us because we did that versus donating to the other guy. Even a postcard, if you want to save, I know that a newsletter can be really expensive and tap into your budget. A postcard is a lot cheaper on a stamp, and you can put a lot in there.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I work for an organization called Connie's Clubhouse. So what we do is build a more inclusive and uplifting community for individuals with disabilities. We provide skills and life training as well as community outings. Our niche focus is for adults who need higher levels of support. My question for you is, what do you recommend putting into your content for a video if you're uploading a video for a campaign or linking to a video for the campaign? Do you recommend it be more niche focused onto the campaign itself? Should it be more of a general video about what the organization does, a little bit of both? What would you recommend?
I think a video that you can use for all contexts is great. You're spending a lot of money if it's a professional video. So you want to have that on your YouTube channel and website and play it for all different reasons. If it's something quick and it's not going to take a lot of your budget, you can do both perhaps. But I've found in even my regular videos, I can just plug in a little something like, hey, this is why you need to support us because we're going to be doing this for a long time. It's really important for our community. So I don't even need to list that particular fundraiser, and then I can use it for multiple platforms. I would really showcase what you're doing. If the disabled adults that you're talking about or their caregiver is able to sign a photo release and that's okay, I'd really showcase working with them. That would really compel the community that loves doing that, loves supporting them. I've worked with special need adults here as volunteers with their representative that comes in with them and works. And we really love doing that. My mother has adopted 2 special need adult children. So I really love what you're doing. That's pretty amazing, that alone. So you're going to speak to that community right there by showcasing hands-on, whatever it is that you're doing. I don't know if you're doing life skills, if you're going into workplaces or you're helping them shop or there's exercises or you're just sitting in a room with them. Spice it up a little bit. If you have someone that is talking or even deaf, throw that in there as well with them signing. I think this last month was ASL month, so you can get viral attention there as well. I would love to see that personally, what you're doing hands-on, and keep it within 1 to 3 minutes and load it to your YouTube video so you can use it at any time.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
Thank you. For those who are here or are listening to the recording who want to learn more about you and potentially donate to you, where can they go?
So our websites are acronym udrnc.org. We also have our social media on Facebook. It's United Disaster Relief of Northern California. That's the one we're most active on, but we also do the other social medias. Our website, just now, we added a pop-up yesterday for our brick fundraiser that's coming up. So immediately when they go on the website, it's right in their face. Hey, donate and be excited about it. When you're in the nonprofit world, I'm sorry, I'm just giving you a heads up, but it's constantly fundraising. It's constantly asking people for money and really breaking that barrier. Someone taught me the word ABC, even though it doesn't really line up. It's always be selling, but do it in a really kind and understanding way with that sales pitch that you have. Any opportunity to have someone donate, and it could be volunteer, it could be just sharing the message, or it could be a actual financial donation. Allowing them to contribute in different ways is important.
Thank you so much. We will all go on with our days with extra inspiration. I'm planning this beautiful gift basket of our pears and grapes and garden veggies to bring to you, Danilla. I am so grateful for all the work that you've done for so many years, what you continue to do, that you've spent extra time here with us, shared the behind the scenes and all the tips in a real way that can help make this kind of thing happen for other organizations.
And And thank you too, Adriana. Thank you. If you had not brought Givebutter to us, I don't believe we would have raised as much as we did last year. So I highly recommend working with other like-minded people like we are today and jumping on that platform.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Later.